Alrighty then, hello everyone and welcome to round 14 of the NEF1 Season 11 Championship. 5 rounds left to go in this season that is twisting and turning every single race. Matty right now with the momentum after his last win back in Belgium 1 week ago, but can Tess strike back here at the circuit? Where, if I'm not mistaken, he got his first NEF1 victory, or made his NEF1 debut. It's one of the two. I can't quite remember which one. Unfortunately, it's a couple of seasons ago now. But at a circuit where overtaking is almost a bit too easy, perhaps, and it is very much a giant, oversized go-karting circuit. We'll wait and see. 5 rounds to go of the NEF1 Championship then, as Tess leads the Drivers' Championship by 32 points. Matty with a big inroad on him last week out, but we shall wait and see what goes on here for the qualifying and the race. 36 laps around this place. It's going to go by very, very quickly indeed as well. Rain potentially in the race as well. We're getting reports from Tess. It's going to be very, very interesting. It is a dry qualifying right now, though. We are seeing slightly darker clouds around certain spots of the circuit, but I don't think it's anything we've got to be concerned about. On board with this man then, Iwatts, who just turned a big milestone, turned 30 a couple of days ago. Also, happy birthday to Iwatts. One of the most consistent drivers in NEF1 this season, scored points in every single event but one. It was the Miami or Vegas Sprint. The Vegas Sprint would have been. So I was definitely up there with one of the better drivers this season, and he is the big reason why Red Bull are leading the championship still. McLaren are quickly catching up behind now. Ray and Matty will need to double-edge their efforts though in order to be able to catch fully back up and get past us. We're on board with Holman now on this second DRS train. A lap that absolutely flies by. You're already halfway through the lap distance. When you get to the braking zone, that is just around the corner here. So then, Holman on the back of a recharging Haas, who decided not to get out of the way. Is that Wigan potentially? Yes, it is, who's impeded Holman quite significantly there. That style perhaps, he gets out of the way, but at the very, very late time, so that is Holman's lap. Well done and dusty. Imagine, I believe he's just going to use it as a banker though. It's going to be about a 105, you reckon, with a time like this. A 105 flat, 105.2, 7.4. And he goes P2 with that effort. About a tenth and a half, or sorry, a tenth lower than Recon, who goes up at a P1 in that Williams. Next to come across the line is going to be a McLaren to start a flying lap. Matty Adam, and then a Mercedes potentially closer. We're looking at Mackers. He's coming around the final corner just now then. So his Mac is going to go put into provisional P1. Yes, he does, on a 104.642. So it's a very, very good lap from Mackers, who takes provisional pole position. Djokovic in the middle of sector 2 at the moment. He's just coming in a 44.992. As Haas comes across the line of Darren Stahl, who goes 105.558. It's the Red Bull of perhaps. Start a flying lap, and that is annoying as well for Djokovic. Invalidating his time on the final corner would have been good enough for P1, but that means he gets this lap invalidated as well, as to have an advantage by going off the circuit. This corner, Mr. Wilco, fastest out of anyone. Can Holman go from the line to improve? No, he cannot. Squidgetoe goes quickest out of anyone on a 103.940, and Matty goes even quicker than that. 103.882. And where do we have our friendly Red Bull? He is going through sector 2 at the moment, and is coming up on sector 3. So Djokovic had a decent go. He had a 9.9, so Tess almost a second quicker than that going through the first 2 sectors. And coming up on the final sector though, one braking zone almost, with a little lift off in corner as well, as Tess goes P1 on a 103.772. 2. The top 3 separated by about 2/10 of a second. Quite a big distance, to be fair, with a track as short as this. This is our Halo, our latest podium sitter in NEF1. Is making his way around the circuit and making his way around sector 2 at the moment. Very, very short sectors around here. Goes 44.940. So what do we expect as our Halo when he completes this lap? You probably expect him about Recon Holman territory on the 105 flat, perhaps. We can see it's going to be a bit quicker than that. It's a 104.494. It's P6, ahead of Mr. Wilco, ahead of his teammate, and ahead of Holman. Crucially enough for him. Tiger Rock Daft looking to have a strong result here as well. Had a very, very good Australian Grand Prix, then it's had a couple of difficult weeks after that during the European stage and season's not really gotten going for him. We'll see if he can have a strong result here tonight. Lucas Hull is struggling getting into the pit lane at the moment. He's off the gravel. Cross, and Djokovic is about to come across the line, 45 flat in the second sector, and goes P8. Djokovic, who is now as well on the right hand side of the table, which is P11 downwards, maybe for the first time in NEF1 when the table has fully set. So let's say after 3 rounds in. BT goes 6th fastest. Now here's a driver who's found a little bit of pace over the last couple of weeks. It's not really shown in the results tab quite yet, but BT just improving a little bit every single week right now. Just needs to get that race result in. Djokovic should be coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Tiger Octaf is on P12. Cy Watts then at the circuit where he has won twice before in NEF1. In the early seasons, this man was incredible around here. Let's see Watts across the line, doesn't improve by much, only a 10th of a second, stays 16th fastest. Lucas Hull, the only driver yet to have set a time so far. Will go into the pit lane then, just practicing that pit lane entry, which absolutely can catch you out. As we do have a little bit of bantering between the top 3 at the moment, saying the sandbags have come off for Tess and Squidge. That's Adam, who's looking strong in practice, maybe not as strong as he thought. Here we go then with Noah 48, who's very, very close to the Williams behind him. He's coming into the lane actually with Noah. On an out lap, quite interesting. Squidge then is on a fast lap. Man currently sitting in P3 in the current quali standings and the championship standings. Looking to improve on that. He is the reigning NEF1 champion. Is the young Briton. Squidge 2017 using the full width of the circuit there, almost taking out the brake meter boards as well. He's doing the same thing in the braking left-hander. 44.350. He's improving by about a 10th and a half through the second sector. If he can keep that momentum up and improve by about 2/10, he'll be on professional pole position come the end of this lap. 2/10 of a second is enough to find yourself in P1, a couple of hundreds ahead of Teston. At a circle where finding time clearly is possible, and Squidge goes fastest out of anyone by 3/10 of a second. He improves by, and that is a 10th and a half clear of Tess in P2. Matty Adam is out as well. He's improving, but not by enough. Gets a bit closer to Squidge, but just can't manage to get ahead. And now we're starting to have that close top 3 battle that we thought we would have. Tess is coming out on circuit behind. Is that Ray, I believe? No, it was Matty Adam. Ray's actually about to come across the line. He's going around the penultimate corner and the final corner just now. Then let's see what the second McLaren is capable of. Very close on the track limit there, just on the edge. 104, 144, and P4. For Ray 25, who jumps out of Noah, jumps ahead of ET, so that's a good result for him. crucially as well, now that Iwatts is not qualifying any higher than P17 at the moment, seemingly just struggling a little bit. As SSR Halo is pushing on, he's coming on to the beginning of Sector 2. DRS wide open on the Mercedes, so for Holman it's coming round the basically the only part of the circuit with actual corners, if it's not just a little hairpin here and there. So then the only technical sector of the circuit, as Holman is doing anything but pushing. Djokovic then is pushing, and he's pushing up ahead of no actually. A 1:04.174, 300 slower than Ray precisely. As Esten has invalidated this lap. You would imagine that'd be on the final corner then. Validated 2 laps for him seemingly, and that is trouble for Tess. It'll just put a bit more pressure on him for the final run. But remember, this is a circuit which will promote overtaking during the Grand Prix. We're not going to have a very interesting battle at the front before the final couple of laps, you would imagine, and DRS trains could be massive. We'll wait and see. It'll be the anti-type of racing that we had this weekend for the Australian Grand Prix. That's the second last round of the season to be held in Europe as well, as there goes a 33 PT for a massive spin. The fact that the game's not called a yellow flag on this yet, as a 33 PT needs to be able to get out of the way without driving the wrong way back on the circuit. As there we go, BT back into the pit lane. Djokovic sitting in P7 at the moment. Noah's improved up further. And he's not too far behind Tess and Matty now, about a tenth of a second behind the top 3. So that's an impressive lap from Noah that I'm very, very sad I missed. Not often that we don't see a massive gap in between the top 3 and the rest of the field. So then Max 97 into the pit lane he goes. Iwatts has improved on lap up to 1:04.995, but it's not enough. So Lucas Hall is not having the best of sessions at the moment. He's on 1:14.784, so he is currently doing laps around Hungary still. He's left 2 weeks in the past. Darren Style is going the wrong way off the circuit. And he is also now getting back on the circuit. That was a little bit of a fun moment, just going backwards off track. So here we go then with Wigan to start a flying lap. Squidge is coming out relatively early for his final run. It's a short circuit, so maybe just preparing yourself if you want to have one more go at this if you mess up the first attempt. But this should also guarantee that it doesn't get stuck behind too much traffic. The Ferraris have come out in formation as well, it's worth pointing out. Here comes the Haas of Wigan 71 then, who's stuck at the back in Championship as well, alongside Recon. Both are on 4 points, I believe. You just wonder if a 5th or 6th point for any of these constructors might just be enough to clinch 9th in the standings and avoid that P10. As Wiggins' lap interrupted, they're going off the circuit in Sector 2. Djokovic has just started his last flying lap of this session, you imagine, with 3:25 to go. The man who has been so good around this circuit previously as well in NEF1 history, now with a bit of a job to do if he wants to catch up to the back of his teammate. He's improving by only a couple of thousandths in the first sector, but most of the improvements can be found in this second, especially the third sector as well. It's that double left-hander in the second and third sector split. That absolutely can be around the circuit. And the exit of turn 4. Djokovic now with a lot of drive coming through this corner. It's flat almost as soon as you get off the brakes here. You have a lot of downforce going through these corners. Don't really need to be too gentle on the throttle. Just gotta be careful on downforce so that you don't run out of it. And final corner for Djokovic, and he goes just that little bit wide, and that has eliminated this lap. That was going to be very, very good as well. So Djokovic is at the moment sitting in P7. Squidge has improved on his personal best up to 103.602. That is the time now that Matti and Tess will have to beat. Noah is going to do what he can to just get up a bit closer, trying to up the slipstream of the Ferrari of Squidge up ahead. That is annoying for Djokovic. Will he be able to recharge the batteries and go one more time? Which is the benefit of going out a little bit earlier, is you have the ability to do that. Djokovic, though, I don't think he was on a lap that really needed that eccentric push through the final corner. It looked good all the way through sector 2 and 3, and I think it was improving by about 4 attempts, something like that, which would have seen him up at sharp end even potentially. So here we go then with Mr. Wilco. Is he going to improve up to P5? Yes, he does. Good job, Mr. Wilco. What about his teammate? He's currently sitting in P10, not driving very fast. Was he driving very fast? He might have been driving very fast. I don't quite know. Well, now he's not driving very fast anymore. Was that a little drop of rain as the other conditions have gotten heavier? As Tess now into the penultimate corner with someone ahead of him. Is that his teammate? No, it's a Racing Bulls car. And Tess goes too deep into the corner. That is qualifying over for the championship leader in P3 at best. Matti Adam now with a bit of calmness. Squidge is not going to be able to go down again, and Tess is not going to be able to improve. This is Matti Adams for the taking if he wants it. Noah, is he improving? No, he is not. I can't get a session timer up either, which is a bit annoying. 28 seconds left. Noah might just be able to get round, go one more time, but now we're starting to have that rain fall, and Matti now has these last 2 corners maybe rain affected. Yeah, it's almost an instantaneous loss of grip. Matti fails to improve on a lap that just about a minute earlier could have been brilliant. Squidge made the right call, everyone, to come out immediately. Matti Adam will finish this session in P2 with Tess in P3, Noah in P4, followed by Mr. Wilco in 5th. Ray will finish P6, followed by Halo in 7th. Djokovic in 8th. Does not improve in these current conditions. My god, the track went slippy quick. Mackers in 9th, Holman in 10th, BT with a disappointing qualifying for him. He finishes P11, followed by Kit in 12th. Recon finishes 13th place, followed by Darren Style, Tiger Octaf. Iwat is not going to be able to improve on this tyre, surely. Wiggins coming into the pit lane in 17th, and Lucas Hull on a 106.173 will be hoping to gain a substantial amount of time for the Grand Prix that is to come. Well then, Matti Adam, the man should maybe have been in pole position with the way this session went, but he was out-strategized in qualifying by Squidge 2017. Came out just that little bit earlier to cover off the threat of rain. That was very, very, very impressive from Squidge 2017. Halo maybe saying that he was able to get into the 103s there with the rain, and apparently the grip dropped incredibly quickly in sector 3. AB2 was up on his time as well, just couldn't improve. So the rain ruined everything for most people, as it usually does. Let's see if we have a rain interrupted Austrian Grand Prix then. DRS is disabled at the end of the session. We shall wait and see what the track conditions are like when we go racing. 36 laps around this circuit is coming right up. We have the usual suspects in the top 3 positions. Squidge, Matti and Tess, followed by Noah, Mr. Wilco in 5th. And then the Constructors' Championship battle. Ray has qualified in P6. Iwat is all the way down into P16. How will that affect the Constructors' Championship battle going forward? We shall wait and see. Just give us a couple of minutes and we'll be with you for full coverage of the Austrian Grand Prix of NEF1. Do not go anywhere. This is going to be an absolute blast. We'll be right back. Okay, everyone, we are back, and that is not your eyes failing you. We have heavy rain conditions here at the Austrian Grand Prix in Season 11, so this is going to be an absolutely thrilling go. We're just going to have a look at the stakes for what is to play here Tess on 264 versus Matty on 232 in the Drivers' Championship. Squidge shortly behind on 224. Luna would have loved this race condition. Can't race today, unfortunately. She's sitting in P4 on 98 points, shortly followed by Ray, Iwatts, and Mackers. Noah Holman is involved in that as well, but it's a massive battle in the midfield. As for the Constructors' Championship, about 26 points separate Red Bull and McLaren. That is an incredible margin this late on in the season. And now McLaren with an advantage here. Matty Adam does enjoy conditions like this. It's intermediate tyres on for Squidge, for Matty Adam, for Tess, for everyone it's intermediate conditions on. We shall wait and see how this race plays out. No one wanted to go on wet tyres. Probably a good move. We'll also wait and see if we can get an update on if this rain is due to end at any stage during the Grand Prix, or if we are going to be going for this type of a race throughout the entire event. 36 laps then, with Squidge on pole position, followed by Matty and Tess, who has their car set up for wet weather driving. I don't think anyone does, judging by the lap times that we saw in qualifying, at least from the top 3. I don't know why Noah's currently in ghost mode as well, because it's dropping back significantly. Noah, are you in control of that car or not? Please let me know in stream chat as well, so I can just spot that right away. If anything needs to be done about it, I will be able to do it as quickly as possible. So then, the Austrian Grand Prix with rain interruption. Squidge is going to be moving to cover off Matty on the start towards the inside as aggressively as he possibly can. See him just drift a little bit left out then to try to take that angle towards the right hand side. Cover Matty Adam off. Matty is pointing left as well, hoping to have a good launch here. Alright, the last cars are lining it up on the grid. Lucas Hull and Wigan. And we are good to go for the Austrian Grand Prix. A Ferrari versus McLaren on the front row. The Red Bull of Tess shortly behind. How will that fare at the go-kart circuit in wet weather? We shall wait and see, because here we go. And it's a good start from the Ferrari. It is a better start from the Red Bull, who's just gotten past Matty Adam immediately. Doesn't quite get the car slowed down, but keeps the position regardless. That's a good start from Tess. Straight past Matty Adam. It's a good start from Ray. It's a horrid start for Noah, who's down 18 positions. Oh, sorry, 14 positions. Has left the session. We'll try to get him invited as quickly as possible to see what's going on. Where is Noah? There we go. So then, we have yellows in Sector 1. That is Kid who's had a problem. Beatty's had a bad start as well. Noah's had a horrid start. Lucas Hull's had a decent start, up 5 positions. Most of that, though, is Kid, Noah, and Beatty having a bad start. It's a bit inflated. Iwatts already up into the top 10. The man is allergic to finishing somewhere that does not get you championship points. Also telling you what's a bit troubling at the moment for Matty Adams' championship campaign is letting Squidge run away with this. He has a chance now to take another couple of points off and test the championship lead going into the late rounds where Matty usually quite enjoys himself, but he needs to finish out of Tess and Squidge. He needs to win this Grand Prix to mount a serious championship challenge. Right now, Squidge is leading this Grand Prix relatively comfortable, half a second ahead of Tess in wet weather conditions, mind you. Overtaking is going to be a little bit more tricky, as here we go on board with Recon 21, who is following Iwatts up the hill. Unable to get an overtake pulled off there. Tiger Octave has had a decent start as well, up 2 positions, not anything spectacular though. As now we'll have a bit to do in this Grand Prix. Kid has been into the pit lane already. I believe a beat is about to go through the ghost of Noah as well. Fancying that track position as battle for the front remains the same. Squidge, Tess and Matty Adam, and taking DRS away from this little battle has probably made it just that bit more interesting. Not gonna have overtakes for the lead every single race of this lap as we usually do. Djokovic is on the back of Ray now. Djokovic can be amazing in wet weather conditions, or he can struggle a little bit. It's usually one or the other. Matty Adam, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, on 1:16.1. Djokovic getting a bit squirmish on the exit coming out of turn 1, up the hill towards turn 2, this little left-hand kink. In turn 3 is the the right-handed hairpin. Hardest braking zone on the circuit. Uphill to turn 3. Not hard getting your car slowed down though. Quite hard to do without locking up. Djokovic is getting nowhere. Ray is getting very close to the back of his teammate. I don't think that was by design though. But I think he'll just maybe have to take a bit of avoiding actions to not run into the back of Matty Adam, who is fighting for the race win here with track conditions being the way they are. But how long will they be the way they are? That is the question that we'd like an answer to. Mackers is on the back of Holman. Mack is the only driver apart from Darren and Squidge to remain on the same position where he started the Grand Prix. Iwat still in that top 10. The man is incredible when it comes to stuff like this. Squidge then leads this Grand Prix still, taking the fastest lap of the Grand Prix away from Matty Adams. That potentially a sign of track conditions improving. Nothing else to dry lines beginning to form as A33 BT says the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. And now we have Noah in this race as well, trying to keep on the back of Mr. BT. Darren is going to send one down the inside of Tiger Octave. Nobody almost runs into the back of him, if nothing else. Gotta be careful on the exit then. Maybe try to do something in the Alpine down into the next braking zone. It looked like Darren had quite good braking abilities, to be fair. Way too far back to start thinking about a move quite yet. Tiger Octave just looking a bit uncertain of what to do in conditions like this, as Iwat has overtaken Mackers for P9, and this is giving the McLaren boys something to think about. Iwat, who looked out of contention by the time this race started, is now already up into the point and climbing still. Next target is Holman and Mr. Wilco. Yellow flags. Is that a Noah's had an issue, or is it a BT who's had an issue? It's a BT who's down in P17 again. This race is not going overly well for him. So, Matty Adam, when do you make your move on Test? Did Test make a move on Squidge? Or do they just run in formation like this for a little bit? As the sun is starting to break out of the clouds on the left-hand side of your screen, then does that mean the track will just be drying up a little bit? We'll be going to wet weather running in a bit. We'll wait and see. I'd love an answer on it. But I don't think I'll get one. Meanwhile, I'm looking at potential battles, and Iwat versus Holman could be one of them, as Iwat is almost lining up Holman on move in the middle of Sector 2-3, but that's not going to happen on this lap. Almost looks like he's balancing that car very well, with Matty now right on back of Tess. Could this now be the opportunity that he's been waiting for? Just going to try to deploy a little bit, try to get ahead of that Red Bull, but overtaking in conditions like this, very tricky. Maybe is it warranted just sending a dive bomb down the inside into the final, or sorry, into the next corner, not the final corner. It's not a place where I'd ever recommend someone do a dive bomb. No, because Matty's nowhere close to Tess on the braking zone to turn 3. So overtaking around here, seriously tricky by the look of things. Seriously tricky. Squidge is not running away with this, but now the top 3 have started leaving Ray and Djokovic behind somewhat. Then there's a gap down to Halo in 6th, and there's also a 2-second gap down from Halo to Wilco. as Recon looks like he's throwing the cars into corners at the moment. It's obviously seemingly working for him. He's just gone past Mackers, who's had a bad exit, and that is Lucas Hall up to P11 as well. This race is not going brilliant for the Mercedes of Mackers. Slightly better for his teammate right now, who's emerging more and more in NEF1 as a very, very solid midfield driver, if not just starting to touch the front end just that little bit with those slow baby steps. As the gaps at the front are now beginning to exaggerate. What could this race have been if Tess didn't have the getaway that he did? Matty Adam struggling behind right now, but can't find a way through. Tess just holding on to the back of Squidge for the time being. Squidge seemingly relatively relaxed in conditions like this as well. He is battling mostly Matty P2 in the championship at the moment. But with a bit of bad luck for Tess, the championship could still be up for grabs. Either Squidge or Matty Adam. We're now into a point though where we start mathematically eliminating most drivers every single race. Let's test then. Fast lap of the Grand Prix so far, 14.591. It's a very, very decent time for intermediate conditions. As Djokovic picks himself up 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. We're on lap 8 out of 36. And the Alpine looks like they were sending straight for the wall there for just a moment, but everything is fine. Darren Style then on Tag Rockdaft has been unable to find a way through, and that's the name of the game this race. Overtaking is close to impossible by the look of things. Iwatts on Holman then just can't get close enough in the exits. Looks very good on the straight, does the Red Bull of Iwatts, but he can't get close enough to think about a move on Holman unless the driver ahead makes a mistake. Overtaking here doesn't quite seem possible. As everyone inside the top 3 is just settled into a rhythm now. 8 laps into the Grand Prix, not too much is happening. At a point now where I'm actually hoping for it to dry up just that little bit. As Mr. Wilco now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings, and that's one of those things we'll have to keep our eye on for this Grand Prix, is those track limits infringements. As the rain definitely is getting just that little bit easier over the last couple of laps, but the sun has gotten away. The question is, will we be under intermediate conditions for the entire Grand Prix? If we are, then Matty and Tess need to start thinking about doing something on Squidge 2017 to get ahead. The way things are, overtaking next to impossible unless the car ahead makes a mistake as mentioned. And just as I say that, actually, I believe Squidge might have made a small one because Tess has caught up by about half a second in this lap. So Van Tess once again with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It keeps alternating between Squidge and Tess at the moment. Just looking back a bit further, how is AB getting along? Noah's already overtaken. Wigan is getting caught up into the midfield once again. Tag Rockdaft though disconnected from the battle for the points by a lot of seconds, and I'll have quite a bit of work to do once he clears this train. But right now, Noah, Darren Style, and Tag Rockdaft is about to start doing a little bit of battling. Darren now closer to Octaf than he has been before. Is now the time where you go for a cheeky dive maybe down the inside of the braking zone? Well, it is if you are Noah 48. Doesn't quite fancy sitting behind that hat for much longer. Now Octaf is going to have to look in his rearview mirrors inside if he wants to fight this too hard or not. Noah relatively quick in the wet conditions here. as the battle at the front has just started tightening up a little bit again. Matty started pushing by the look of things to catch that gap back up, and now it's within 7/10 again of all cars inside the top 3. About 1.5 seconds separate Squidge and Matty Adam. And it's a further 3 seconds down to P4 and Ray 25. As Djokovic might just have a little go down the inside of Ray, just gets his car on the inside of the apex. Can't quite deal with it though, gets a little bit of wheel spinning on the exit. That is Ray, still with the track position, but it was fun seeing Djokovic try something. Because right now this has been a very, very dull Grand Prix. Macker's not really moving anywhere. Just I say that, he's actually side by side with Lucas Hull and trying to make a move. Where is Lucas Hull in all of this? He emerges on the inside of Mackers, and he's gonna fight this one. Outside line around this corner when it's wet though, surely it's not gonna work. Lucas realizes that, tucks in behind, and Mackers has recovered the place that he lost a couple of laps ago now. Already a third way into this Grand Prix, but Mackers back up at P11. Recon is into the points for that Williams crucially, which sees them clear Haas in the Constructors' Championship on points. Keep in mind the fastest lap point is at play. So then, as we should be approaching pit stop territory within the next 6-7 laps, something like that. When you get to about lap 18-17, then you're going to feel comfortable to pit. We can see now it's about a 20-second pit stop around here. If Squidge was to pit now, he'd come out behind Lucas Hull, but ahead of Noah. It's not a bad time to make a pit stop. If you can get those tyres 24 laps into a Grand Prix, it's quite a distance to go. Or if you know you're not going to last until the rain stops, but you might as well do something with it anyhow. As Ray now picks himself up freezing Tampleton, that'll be sweet news to Djokovic, Halo, iWatts, everyone. And iWatts, who's going to pass Holman, by the way, and is now going to start chasing down Mr. Wilco, but he's 3 seconds down now after that battle, so iWatts has some work to do. And Macker's now in the back of Recon, as Djokovic has been able to get past Ray for position on circuit, as well as they're just doing a bit of jingly thing. Through turn 3, Djokovic just out tractions Ray though. Is that going to be enough for the braking zone into turn 4? Djokovic maintains positions up into the top 4 for the first time in a long time. Djokovic up fighting for the high point scoring positions, very, very close to the front as well now. Half a second separates Squidge, Tess and Matty. So then Matty's starting to put the pressure on Tess. How is he going to hold up? Well, for the time being, lap 14 out of 36. Over a third of the way through then. No retirees, no drama so far, which I'm sure Kit is not loving at the moment. As he sat in plumb last, 18th place after a bad start to the Grand Prix. An early pit stop saw him out of contention for anything here, unless we have a safety car that'll bring him back into this. And whilst this is going on, Djokovic's cleared Ray by a second and a half almost immediately. So that's good work from Djokovic, who's now going to be able to just find his rhythm. As for Tess, how do you find a way past that Ferrari of Squidge 2017? I don't quite know. If it's not on strategy and the pit window is opening in the next couple of laps, laps 16 to 18 to 20, somewhere around there, surely we're going to see pit stops for a new set of inters, unless they're expecting transition to dries. But it looks like the rain's intensifying now at parts of the circuit, especially sector 3. So then, with a bit more unpredictable weather, potentially, if the rain picks up, maybe that'll just allow for a couple of overtakes, for a couple of mistakes. I right now, though, would like the dry conditions just to allow them to race each other a bit easier. Right now, not much is going on, which you're feeling if you're watching this race, as well as Lucas Hall might just try to line up Holman for a move, but it's not going to be done on this lap. This corner regardless, depends on the exit that Holman gets, but it is satisfactory for certain. As in the battle for the Constructors' Championship as well, Recon at the moment sitting in P12 on 6 seconds worth of time penalties though. He's not doing himself any favours at all with that amount of penalties. That'll cost him a lot of time in the end. Djokovic now just picking up his 6th as well. 3-second time penalty, track limit warnings, 2 of those equals 6 points. Same for Kit, same for Recon, and now that could send them tumbling down the order, especially if we have a late safety car. Talking about the order of the top 3 remains unchanged. Still Squidge from Tess from Matty Adam. Now it looks like the rain is easing off substantially once again, so we'll see if the track starts drying out. I would expect when no one's tried to do some sort of an undercut is that they're expecting dry conditions. We just saw a bit more of a wet spell about a lap or 2 ago, but now those rain particles have stopped appearing. Are we transitioning to dry tires potentially? And if we are, who is pulling the trigger first and risking it all? You would imagine right now it's the driver with the least to lose, which is Tess. Be the first one to pull that trigger. If he does, Matty can follow him straight in. It's an awkward position for the current championship leader to be in. It's a very awkward position as Djokovic sets a 13.8 fast lap so far. I believe by margins. Well, we'll see. No, it's just quicker than what Matty Adam did. Quite a lot quicker though than Squidge and Tess. As Mr. Wilco actually comes in very, very early for a set of hard tires. Those will be a handful, I'll tell you that. Lucas Hall comes in as well. So early pit stops here. Let's see then, Mr. Wilco, if this undercut works, will be the undercut of a decade, especially on these tyres now. Going to be stone cold and on the damn circuit as well. Usually one of, as Noah's been disqualified from the race for blocking the pit lane exit. I'd be very, very interested to know how that's happened. I believe Noah has spun coming out of the pit lane. Unfortunately, that is Noah out of contention. As here we go then, Squidge is coming in, Tess is coming in, Matty is coming in, all 3 of them into the pit lane at the same time. And in what order will they come out? What tyres are going on? Hard tyres on the Red Bull, hard on the Ferrari, and hard tyres on the McLaren. So nothing interesting going on at all. Hard tyres on Djokovic's car. Sorry, Matty Adams jumped Tess in the pit lane actually. So he's now up into P2. Squidge has been able to run away massively though. 1.5 seconds at the end of this pit stop. So something will have happened for Matty and Tess. Were they held up by another car coming up behind potentially? In which case the Ferrari's in a bit more of an advantageous position in the pit lane to be in. As for Mr. Wilco, the gamble didn't really pay off because no one else waited significantly longer. Well, one person has, that is Lucas Hall. Let's see if he gets along on them. As we have a full core safety car. We have a full safety car here at the end of lap 18. I don't know quite what for. You would imagine though that the top 3 are all kicking themselves a little bit. Why didn't I wait one more lap? Just like Lucas Hull did, because he'll now be able to pit, come out maybe even ahead of Mackers. He won't be able to come out ahead of Mackers, sorry, but he'll come out behind Holman, potentially on medium tyres if you can make those last about 16 laps. He'll have to take them on a race distance. Might just be possible. Bad week for Novo. Difficult start to the Grand Prix with the safety car coming out now as well. It'll be frustrating. He would have been able to make a couple of moves with the pace that he had. Difficult qualifying session for... oh, sorry, not difficult for qualifying. Difficult start to the race for Noah, being kicked out of the lobby and losing a lot of positions therefore, and then disqualified for blocking the pit lane entry. What does Lucas Hull do now? Is it medium tyres or is it hard tyres going on? It's soft tyres going on Lucas Hull's car, and I don't understand the decision because no one else can pit. So that might have buried Lucas Hull's strategy. If not, he'll be very, very quick on the restart for about 3 laps until he burns off those rear tyres. So here we go then, here comes Darren Style for a new front wing and a new set of tyres, medium tyres going on the Haas. It's a bit more reasonable. And Squidge leads this race then for Matty Adam and Tess. Djokovic in P4, but he's quite lucky actually that safety car hasn't come out later than it has. We're on our way as well. Be very, very quick running of this Grand Prix. Less than an hour into the event and we're already entering closing stages of the race. 16 laps to go, 20 have already been done, and we're about to drum up the pace of this Grand Prix dramatically. So then, Squidge, Matty and Tess all on hard tyres. Djokovic Ray doing the same. The only outlier at the moment is Lucas Hull on soft, and then Recon, Darren and Wigan have all elected to go medium tyres until the end of this race. So, and as we have a couple of back markers within this train as well, it's unfortunate that the game does not promote, for whatever reason, letting people unlap themselves. Don't understand quite why, but they'll be handed yellow flags immediately once the race restarts. That is just Wigan, I believe, as well, nobody else. As Recon picks himself up free and Temple with multiple warnings under a safety car, which isn't ideal. He has 12 seconds worth of penalties at the moment. Recon not having the best of weeks. As then, race control says safety car in this lap. Squidge will be controlling the pace of the field then until the restart. Let the safety car go and let the patch catch back up. Let's see when he has that interest of going. Wigan's the only lapped car in the field. He is sitting there behind the McLaren. Let's see how quickly he starts to let other people behind him go. It's not an ideal position for Wigan to be in. It's a less ideal situation if your SSR Halo and get stuck behind it. But there goes Squidge 2017 with 2 corners to go. Goes quite early. As ABT gets a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. And is that Tiger Octave going very, very slow on the restart? I don't know quite what was going on there. But ABT jumping straight into the pit lane as well. Is that front wing damage on that Racing Bulls car? Yes, it is, and a 10-second time penalty served and disaster for ABT. Will now spend 17 seconds, something in those lines, stuck behind or stuck inside the pit lane. Be dangerously close to getting lapped again when he gets out. So ABT finally coming out of the pit lane, half a lap behind, if not more. That's a horrid restart from A33. BT wings gone out of the way and has been lapped. And this race continues on the way it was. Squid 2017 versus Matty Adam versus Tess. Djokovic with those 6 seconds. He's got to focus on building a gap down to the cars behind now. Anyone who ends up unpenalized here could be in a good position. In a very, very good position. As Tess as the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. The sun's now finally starting to break through. And we have DRS for the first time this Grand Prix. So here comes Matty Adam, getting very, very close to Squidge under the braking, and with DRS now, is he going to be able to blast past the first overtake in this race? Wigan has retired, as he retired in the pit lane, I believe so. Being over a lap down, tough luck there for Wigan. He's had a very, very bad race. Holman is out of contention here right now as well. 15 seconds behind. So the battle at the front then. Now we are seeing that DRS train from first all the way down into 6th place. There we go, down into turn 3, yellow flags. It's Darren Style who's had a problem going into the final corner, and he's had a big problem by the look of things. Here goes Matty Adam down the inside of Squidge 2017. He's going to force him a bit wide, doesn't have to. Squidge yields. Will he have defensive DRS down this next straight? No, he will not. Matty doesn't have any DRS to play around with either, and Tess maybe around the outside of his championship rival, especially from last season, this season as well. But I just can't quite get it done. And Matty takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Fast lap point at the moment goes to A33 BT. So, and the track is lighting up, and the racing is lighting up as well. Finally, we're having some side-by-side action. Because here comes Squidge 2017 on Matty Adam, and this looks like he might go down to the braking zone. Is Squidge going to try it? No, not quite this time. Needs to get a good exit. Matty took a very, very sharp apex, but he got a good exit. He's just going to be able to pull away a little bit on this straight, or just going to be able to hold on to the lead of the Grand Prix. And SR Halo now in a good position as well on both Ray and Jockey to take their respective positions regardless. Iwat is in good place as well, but he needs to get physically past Mr. Wilco to try to chase after Ray and Djokovic. Mr. Wilco right now with 6 seconds worth of time penalties. Iwat's unpenalized, one of the few drivers in the midfield, along with SR Halo to be unpenalized, but won't be able to make anything of it if it's stuck behind Mr. Wilco. It'll be P7 at best regardless. So then, Matty, Squidge and Tess then. Huge for the championship. Here goes the Ferrari, maybe down the inside, down the apex of turn 3. It is very, very tight there. Coming onto it, but Squidge gets the DRS to attack with down the next straight. Matty, will he have anything left to defend with? Yes, he does. Holds the outside, which turns into the inside for the next couple of corners, and Matty still hangs on to the position. Defending around here is possible then, even with the track layout being the way it is. 15 seconds worth of penalties for Recon, 12 worth for Kit, and Darren now with another 3-second time penalty turns into 6 seconds for him at the back of the field. And what was a race of opportunity just a couple of laps ago is now turned into the race of nightmares for both Williams and Haas. No 1980s Wildcat here tonight as well to help Williams out. It is just Recon. As top 3 remain in formation, Djokovic, Ray and Halo maintaining a very, very small gap. As there we go then, Squidge down the inside of the braking zone in turn 4, but Matty Adam once again just able to hold the outside. Yellow flags is Darren Style, who's having an issue and coming back on circuit, and that's an unsafe rejoin if I've ever seen one. Maybe had to get back on circuit, maybe better ways to do so. I couldn't tell you. Very, very lucky to have ghosting up there, especially for Squidge 2017, who could have had a massive incident unless there was a ghosted car there. As further issues for Darren, who is coming into the pit lane at the end of lap 28. Is it now maybe time, if you're Darren Stoltz, for soft tires, speeding in the pit lane? A 10-second time penalty there. For whatever reason. Looked very, very calm and collected. As here goes Squidge down the inside of Matty Adam then of turn 4. Is it maybe time for Darren Stoltz now? Soft tires go for the fastest lap, you would imagine. So Matty again holding the inside then. And that move, Squidge can't pull it off for whatever reason. Just can't see him. He gets alongside, but he can't get ahead. Zywatts at the moment is just sitting behind these penalised drivers, thinking I would like to get further up the road. As Squidge then, how much does he have left to attack with? How much does Matty have to defend with? How much is Tess sitting on to be able to deploy over the next few laps as well? Here goes Squidge down the inside in turn 3, significantly earlier than he has done before. Matty trying to do a little bit of switchback move maybe. Gets the attack in DRS, but Squidge going to be able to hold on this next straight if nothing else. And the battle continues, but with Squidge the new race leader. And Tess is just sitting behind, observing in 3rd place. As problem for Darren Style then as his spins coming out of the final corner, and his race has gone from bad to horrid. Just trying to find grip in those tires as well, but without a front wing end plate as well, the evening is not going very, very well for Darren Style, unfortunately. So then Matty Adam driving by the ghost of Darren and trying, maybe thinking about making a move on Squidge. Not this lap though, lap 30 out of 36, a couple of laps left to go. You would imagine if Tess comes into play here, this could be a very, very feisty little freeway battle on that last lap. Whilst this is going on, Halo at the moment is just sitting back and enjoying what will be a 4th place on the road. Doesn't really matter what he's doing at the moment, he's not challenged from behind either, because of those time penalties, all he has to do is stick with the guys ahead. Yellow flags continue in Sector 2, and they're all around Darren's style at the moment with that broken front wing M plate, you would imagine. Let's see if he comes into the pit lane. We count this lap as he massively goes deep. Such a horrid race is done into Darren's style, who's looking promising a little bit earlier, and here goes Tess on Matty Adam, the Championship 1 and 2, making their way up the hill now, down the hill towards turn 3. Matty on the outside, that he's fancied so many times over the course of this evening. Tess down the inside. How decisive will the Red Bull be? But it's once again the outside that just emerges maybe victorious, because it turns into the inside for this next corner. Matty asserting space. Meanwhile, this is going on. Squidge is getting on with it 1 second down the road now, and is just trying to push away as much as he can. Matty just holds on to the position, but now he has lost the DRS advantage on Squidge 2017, and now the battle for the race win is going to be very difficult. Yellow flag Sector 2 is Darren Style, who's had another issue in the gravel traps. So here we go then, Tess versus Matty, round 2. Tess locks up a little bit, heading into turn 3. Matty's going to be able to get any DRS to attack back with. Is Tess going to cover that outside of Matty fancy so much? Yes, he is. Matty thinks about it on break. Not this time. Darren, 10-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. 29 seconds worth of time penalties is quite hefty. Now it's the question, Matty and Tess try to slingshot off of each other to just get a bit closer to Squidge again, or do they have to admit defeat with that little battle that they had and let Squidge get away? It's a couple of laps left to go. Halo has gone past Djokovic on circuit, Djokovic who has struggled a little bit with the battling, but he is 6.1 seconds ahead of Max at the moment. He will be holding P6 if he can finish the way it is now. If we were to wave the checkered flag, as Matty and Tess do battle once again, I think Matty's just about to emerge victorious here, and maybe the McLaren down the inside of Tess has to brake very late to make sure that Ray doesn't even get a sniff of him, or Ray would be parking the bus for a sector potentially and just trying to get Tess out of his teammates' bother. I'm sure Ray wouldn't mind sending Tess back into the clutches of SSR Halo as well. That is what Tess got to be very careful of now, is the fact that he's in the McLaren sandwich. Double teaming is absolutely a thing in this league. It's absolutely a thing that occurs. A couple of these strategies are very well thought out in between the inter-team dynamics. As further issues then for Darren Style, who's approaching the end of the race. You would imagine he'll be quite happy about this very soon being over, as Matty and Tess now 2 seconds of gap to Squidge, who will surely win the Austrian Grand Prix. Matty needed this win for his championship campaign. It is not to be on this occasion, you wouldn't think, as Darren picks himself up another 10-second time speeding in the pit lane. A BT gets 10-second time speeding in the pit lane now as well. There's a lot of penalties for speeding in the pit lane. This is the biggest penalty margin we've ever had in any F1 Grand Prix, I reckon. ABT going for the fastest lap, and that is what counts. So then, Squidge with 2 laps to go. You would imagine it's taking it quite easy at the moment. Just want to bring this car home. Halo has run a very, very good race once again. He's now making moves past Ray, maybe for track position. I don't think Ray's going to fight this one too hard. He's quite secure on track position, regardless of what happens behind. And this our Halo has cleared the McLaren. Halo, unpenalized. He's the only one outside the top 3 to be so, and has run a brilliant race. Quite anonymous, not really been involved in any drama, but that is the way you have good results in this league. Has Halo maybe now just figured out the delta on how to be one of the top drivers in NEF1? We'll wait and see. We've got Silverstone coming up next week. That'll be a proper test of everyone. But right now we are entering the final lap with Squidge, Matty and Tess are running order. Recon, 10-second time penalty, speeding in pit lane. Everyone going for that fastest lap point. A lot of time penalties will be added on at the end of this race. The crucial thing right now, Djokovic will be hanging on to that P6's thing. Stan Wilco will be holding on to his position potentially as well. It'll be very, very close as Matty, Adam and Tess do battle once again. Now for the final time, is Tess going to be able to make a move on Matty Adam, who holds the outside the way it's worked so many times before. This time though, Tess might just put a little bit of a squeeze on him. Matty gets unsettled and has that now finally gotten Tess ahead of Matty Adam on the final time of asking. Squidge is going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Matty runs a little bit wide. He's going to push Tess to the very edge here, but it will not do. Tess gets by on the final time of asking by just being that little bit more aggressive. Squidge ran away with it as soon as it became dry. He got a bit lucky with the battles, but he wins the Austrian Grand Prix to strike back in the championship, and Tess finishes P2 ahead of Matty P3. Halo with a good result once again. That is a 3rd and a 4th place these last 2 weeks. Brilliant job for Halo. Ray picks up a 5th place. Brilliant job for him as well. The Constructors' Championship battle moves forward. Djokovic finishes P6. Good points for Aston Martin in absence of his teammate. Mackers finishes P7, and the Mercedes team that are looking very good so far. Mr. Wilco, 8th place, 4 points for him. Iwatts continues the trend of scoring points every single Grand Prix. He is finishing P9, and Tiger Octave with a point for Alpine in 10th. Lucas Hall just outside the points, along with Holman, ABT, Kit, Recon and Darren. Are they on fastest lap attempts though? You'd imagine so. Right now it goes to Kit to reclaim the point that he had previously that he got on fastest lap. You would imagine though Holman might just nick it off him now. Yes he does. And ABT, will he be able to nick it off him? No. Holman picks up the final point of the day. Tess just being able to nibble past Matty Adam there on the final time of asking. He couldn't leave it any later than he did. Congratulations though to Squidge 2017 on yet another victory this season, and could that potentially be what he needed to start fighting back? He needs to be pitch perfect in the end of the season, and Tess needs to have a couple of mistakes in him, but the championship is still there to be battled for. Shall wait and see. The gap is getting smaller, however. That is the main thing that we take away from the Austrian Grand Prix here, with only 4 races to go now, and 104 points is the maximum that you can collect the way the season is formatted. Most overtakes Lucas Holden. He was in the middle of it all race long. Squidge 2017 wins the Grand Prix from Tess and Matty Adam. Halo's had a very, very solid week so far. So has Iwat. 16th to 10th in 1 lap. Improves a further position, but the time penalties this race were the deciding factor. Holman picks up another point for Sauber. That is massive in their little battle with Aston Martin and Alpine in the Constructors' Championship fight as well. Count Mercedes into that little battle. 4 races to go then. 1 race in Europe, 3 in the Middle East to round off the season. This has been a very, very interesting race for sure. The Austrian Grand Prix is concluded. It wasn't the most spectacular race when the rain was falling, but as soon as it dried up, we got some good racing underneath us for sure. Thank you very much for watching this rendition of NEF1. We'll be back next week in Silverstone for the home of Formula 1, for the home race of a majority of the drivers in this league. We will see you in 7 days' time when NEF1 returns. Thank you very much for watching once again. Have a good one, stay safe, and peace out.